Bruce St. James, she's Pamela Hughes, he's Rob Hunter, and here are the stories everyone's talking about. We call it the playlist.
Track 1.
Well, while Libya has declared their liberation, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is calling for a UN investigation into the death of Muammar Gaddafi. She's the latest in a number of calls for it. Now, results from an autopsy say Gaddafi died, amazingly enough, of a gunshot wound to the head. Meanwhile, the new Libyan leader says Islamic Sharia law will be the basic source of all law in the new Libya. Listen, we can't have it both ways. We can't get rid of someone that we hate and then complain when the people pick somebody else that we don't like also.
Yeah, and what exactly are they going to be investigating here, guys? So you find out that a rebel put a bullet behind Gaddafi's ear.
Right.
Then what?
Exactly.
Great point. I was reading something this morning that we as the West should get over the fact that they assassinated Gaddafi. And I was like, well, wait, just because they might think it's okay doesn't mean humanity should think it's okay to pull a guy off a truck and shoot him in the head.
Track 2.
President Barack Obama is again taking his message to Americans this morning. While he's still pushing his jobs plan, he's going to add a new message to his speech. That is, we can't wait for Congress. Yeah, well, Obama wants to help more homeowners who owe more on their houses than they're worth, and also wants to ease repayment of federally backed college loans.
We can't wait for Congress? I'm curious as to what grade President Obama got in his high school civics class. You don't have a choice, Mr. President.
All I'm seeing is when politicians speak is more dollar signs being flushed down toilets collectively around the nation. And, of course, that money comes out of our paychecks every week.
Yeah, you know what? It's not the programs or lack of programs, Mr. President. It's the lack of confidence right now in D.C. that is the problem. You change that, you change everything.
Track 3.
How much do you guys spend every day driving to work?
Too much.
Yeah, exactly. Well, add it all together, and the Department of Commerce says the average family spending about $10,000 a year just getting around.
Really?
Yeah, that's more than we pay in taxes and health insurance. The study points to the cost as housing as a contributing factor because the more expensive housing became, the farther away people moved, hence these transportation costs.
Right. You think you need to tell the people in Queen Creek, Maricopa, an anthem of this? I think they figured that out. You know what? I think it is good, though, for people to analyze expenses. I bet more people would be a little bit surprised to find out what they spend in travel costs alone.
Yeah, I live out there, and this number totally surprised me, but I think what you're going to find out is those that move to the suburbs to find a cheaper house are actually going to be the ones that are getting foreclosed on or short sailing or doing jingle mail and then moving in closer to the city.
Jingle mail?
Yeah,
is that what I did?
keys.
I didn't go to a foreclosure. I just decided to move. I just said, look, I need to be closer to work. I don't want to spend 45 minutes in the car each way to work. I don't want to spend the gas money. That's the solution, baby.
Track 4.
That's nice of you. It always seems like everyone passes the buck on blame. So does former Mexican President Vicente Fox do it? He told the BBC that Mexico is having problems with a drug war because of drug consumption in the United States. Fox hopes drugs will become illegal here and says that will stop the violence. I got to tell you, this is the problem. We can all argue about what the solution is, but there is no denying the United States' responsibility in this.
Well, yeah, I think one of the reasons why you're seeing the violence increase right now is because for the first time, Mexico is actually trying to do something about the drug violence. It's going to get worse before it gets better.
What was your joke you did on Facebook or Twitter yesterday about on paper?
On paper.
On paper, everything sounds great,
Looks
right?
good on paper.
And on paper, you could say legalizing drugs will solve all of our problems. But somehow I don't think the Mexican drug cartels are going to hand over all their crops to the Mexican government so the Mexican government can sell it without a fight.
Yeah.
Just saying.
There is that.
Track 5.
All right, guys. Well, what would you say is the most stolen food out there?
Pop-Tarts.
I'm thinking maybe some quality kind of beef, you know, the high-end stuff. Or is it something like cheese?
What?
Really?
Yes, who knew it was cheese?
Cheese.
Analysts say most people who steal the cheese actually resell it.
Resold cheese.
Yeah, one study pointed out theft in grocery stores up 6.5% since last year, and that adds up to about $200 per year in added cost to your grocery bill.
Are you telling me there's a black market for cheese? Really? How many of you out there are getting your Kraft American singles in a dark alley somewhere in downtown Phoenix?
I don't know. I hope nobody. I hope somebody's buying there's expensive cheeses out there. Maybe that's what they peddle in alleys. But I do think it's a reminder too that, thieves cost us all money at the end of the day
Where is
because
that?
stores aren't just going to eat the cost.
I like it cheese. I like my expensive cheese. But guess what? I'm buying it at a grocery store, not out of the
for you.
trunk of some guy's car.
Track 6.
You guys remember that streaker who dressed as a referee during that
Yes.
U of A
Oh,
UCLA
yeah.
game last
Last week,
week?
yeah.
Well, get this. He might go to jail for 1.5 years because of it. His name is Jace Landcow. He's been charged with criminal impersonation. It's a Class 6 felony.
Oh, jeez.
And, of course, a lot of attention has been paid to that game because of the bench-clearing brawl that happened.
I actually have a friend that knows Jason. His family was a straight A student, too.
I'm sure he was,
4.0
yeah.
4.0 GPA.
Oh.
Yeah, that's going to change. And I'm not just trying to defend the U of A guy, being the U of A guy in the room here, but this punishment strikes me as a bit harsh, especially when you compare it to things that we see go on every single day.
Yeah, you know what? Let the punishment fit the crime.
There you go.
With this crime, I don't quite know what the punishment would be, but it's definitely not jail time.
The only thing I like about this is it proves my theory correct
What
that
theory is
we
that?
treat everyone in this country like a criminal.
They are criminals.
And remember when pranks just used to be pranks?
Oh, the good old days.
Good old days. It was just like, it was a prank. We kicked him out of the stadium. End of story.
Well, that is the playlist for the 9 o'clock hour. We got you caught up on the stories that everyone's talking about. We do it at the bottom of each hour, 9:30, 10:30, and 11:30. Thank you so much for joining us for the playlist.